This week, we are going to take a break from our regular scheduled program. So instead of doing our regular art Monday through Thursday like normal with our different categories, we're going to just set that aside for this week and we are going to do a special book study. Yes, you heard it right, book study. Now we're going to take a book that you've read in class, in your humanities class specifically, and we're going to use that to create a art project. And that art project is going to take up all 4 days this week. I've broken it down into sections so you can follow along and do one part each day. Most of the time, you're going to need things to dry in between one day and the next. So even if you decide to crunch it together and do it in one sitting, you might have to wait a little bit in there to let things dry before going on to the next step. Just keep that in mind. So here we go. Today, part 1. You ready? Let's go. Okay, so we're going to need 1 sheet of our paint paper and a pencil and eraser today. It's important that this is thicker paper because we are going to paint it. All right. Now, you are reading Desperaux, so we're going to hold it long ways, and we're going to do a drawing of our friend Desperaux. And I need my pencil to be very sharp. I like to draw with a very sharp pencil, so you might want to have your sharpener handy too, just in case. Okay, we're going to do a spool of thread here on the bottom, and Desperaux is going to be up here at the top. So let's go ahead and start up here. And we are going to start by making a little oval. That's his nose. We're going to make a little circle for the eye and another little circle for the eye. Now look how wide set they are. They're spread pretty far apart. Make sure you don't put them too close together. And then we're going to give him a few whiskers. I like those whiskers to be nice and big and long. And now let's go ahead and shape his head. So he's going to have a pointy nose, so it's going to be a little pointier. It's going to come up and go around and come back down. So he has a bigger, like, forehead. Now, I thought I was making his ears big like Desperaux, but I really did not make them big enough. If you would like to make them larger, please do. I sort of misjudged, and that's one of his characteristics. So please feel free to change it. All right, from here, we are going to do a little body. His arms are going to be stretched out. So from here, let's start on this side. Right around here, right where that ear is, will come out from there. Your ears might be longer than mine, so you can just adjust. I'm just going to curve around. I'm going to come down almost, like he has on pajamas, like a onesie. And then his hips are going to balloon out. So you want a curve that goes out just like that. And down here, we're going to need to put in some feet, his little claws. So I'm just going to have his fur sort of stop with a little jagged edge, and he has a little space there between the 2 legs where his 2 legs will go, or his 2 feet will go. All right, up here we're going to draw his hand. Okay, before we draw his hand, we're going to put in the needle. Do you remember the needle that he used as a sword with the red thread? All right, so it's a big oval on one side. It goes to a point. And now we're going to see his little fingers through the middle of that needle holding on to it. So we have 4 little fingers. I'm going to make the opening for the needle. And then I'm going to make a little thumb on the outside. And that's it. So it looks like he's holding tight to that needle. Now this side, he's not holding on to anything. So we're going to go ahead and make all of those little fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like that. Perfect. Oh my goodness, he is adorable. Okay, feet. We're going to give him pretty good sized feet. We're going to do a curve because remember, he's on top of a spool of thread. So we kind of want his feet to curve down, sort of wrap around. And they get wider where the toes are. So they kind of almost like fins where they spread out at the toes. And then let's just go ahead and do a little like half circle. There's a big toe. There's another toe. Just do that same little curve. And one more. And one more. Just keep them even. All right. Oh my goodness. He is so cute. Now we're going to go ahead and give him sort of a spot on his tummy, and I want him to be furry. So I'm going to follow the shape of his body, and I'm just going to create sort of a furry middle just for interest so that when we paint him, it'll be a little more interesting. If you really wanted to put like a shirt on him or some sort of clothing, you are welcome to do so. I just really like seeing the little body, so I'm going to leave it alone. But I do think I might just have to put a hat on him. All right, we have the needle. Don't draw the thread, okay? Right now we're just going to go to the spool. I have plans for that thread. Now the top of the spool, it would be a circle, right? So because we're seeing it at an angle, it's going to need to be an ellipse because when you turn it, then it becomes an ellipse. So that is what we're drawing here. And then we need to make the edges. So we'll just draw two little lines coming down and we'll follow that shape of the spool. There we go. Looking good. And then we're going to do a little diagonal line on each side so that spool comes in a little bit. All right, skip the middle part, please. Come down here. Don't touch the bottom of your paper, but we're going to basically create the bottom of the spool the same way that we created the top, except that we won't see the top of it. We'll just see the edge sitting on the ground, on the ground, the tabletop, wherever it is. So let's go right there. And finish it off just like that. Okay, do not touch the thread. Now, we're going to leave this blank. Please don't fill it in and don't do any coloring. But if you do want to add anything to your Desperaux, like I think I'm going to add his little sort of knit cap thing. So it's going to come down. It's almost like sideburns. And then I'm just going to give it a little height right there. There, so he has like his little cap on. Perfect. Oh, I'm going to give him little eyebrows to give him a little more personality. And a little mouth too. Just a little one. There he goes. All right, I think he's absolutely adorable. Once you're happy with it, you're done for today. Come back tomorrow for part 2.